Good afternoon, peeps and peepettes. Jonny Middleton here. I hope you're all doing okay. It's kind of like dull, kind of murky kind of day, and yeah, today I got like a video in mind I want to do for you everyone, and this is kind of like for like a more musician's perspective, but like anybody can like hopefully enjoy this too if like you're kind of like just interested in general, and it's kind of like looking at like the advantages and disadvantages of effects pedals, and effects pedals are something like a guitar player can use, kind of like colour their sound a bit, I like a bit of difference to their tone as opposed to like choose like standard and clean distortion kind of sounds. And this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite a while because recently I've been like trying to emulate like kind of like a few of my heroes in terms of like trying to like simulate a sound that's similar to theirs. Note most of us were Billy Duffy from Cult, Adam Jones from Tool, and yeah, like coming across these I experienced like kind of like a lot of frustration and kind of like trying to like emulate their kind of sound, and yeah, basically like I've done a bit of research prior to this video on like the different effects pedals around available. Obviously I knew about your standard modulation like your flange, your Visa, your chorus, that kind of thing. However, it's kind of like stuff like the EQ pedals and the boost pedals that kind of like puzzle me in a way, and which I'll get into. But I might as well get into it now instead of just rambling on. Yeah, let's definitely ramble on, but anyway. Yeah, basically like an EQ pedal, it sounds like an equalization kind of pedal. It basically like, from my research, it kind of adds like a boost to your sound and like a slight tone difference, like from playing guitar solos, like your lead stuff. However, there are separate boost pedals available. However, one thing that puzzles me about boost pedals is, obviously I understand when you're in a solo, you feel in that moment you want like, yeah, I'm gonna jack up on this guitar and show the crowd, my epic solo skills. Probably more guitar players have more epic solo skills than me. So. But yeah, I never understood it because like if you've got like a powerful distortion sound going on, I don't really see the kind of need for like an extra boost to your kind of like tone for your lead. So I guess it kind of adds like a bit of gain to proceedings. However, I'm not too sure about it. Like if I was playing live, I wouldn't necessarily use like a boost pedal or anything, or and I heard like an EQ pedal kind of like the overall PA of the venue too. So obviously if anyone's got any more info on this, I'd love to hear it. So anyway, and then like team like your modulation, look at the advantages I guess versus the disadvantages and advantages of each kind of different effect, and then it kind of sums the video up in whole kind of. And yeah, kind of the advantages of an EQ pedal, like I mentioned, it might help. Obviously, it helps to have like a bit more boost and tone to your sound when you're playing live during solos and your lead stuff. I guess it could like make your part stand out a lot more over the rhythm player, I guess. But then again, I feel there's kind of like more disadvantages associated with like EQ and boost pedals than most people lead me to believe. I know Adam Jones uses like an EQ pedal, but maybe like if any of you peeps could fill me on any info on these kind of pedals, I'd love to hear. But yeah, I don't think I'd necessarily have like an EQ pedal. Well, I might have an EQ pedal, but I wouldn't have a boost pedal in my rig. And then I got to like the modulation kind of side, like your chorus, your flanging, your phaser. Now I've actually got a couple of examples like out there to kind of like show you peeps like what kind of like each effect does. Yeah, I'll learn a couple of riffs, for instance, to show this. And first thing I'm going to do is a bit of clean chorus. I'll learn the riff to, well, I'll try to play this riff the best I can. It's the main riff to More Than Feeling by Boston. Because as you can kind of see with like a kind of like clean chorus, a kind of tone, you can kind of like add a bit more. It kind of sounds more reverby, to your general tone, I suppose. Although it's kind of like different from like reverb. There's also, speaking of reverb, there's kind of like separate reverb pedals, which they're kind of like, I kind of don't see the point of them anyway. Because like they kind of like to kind of like delay. Obviously, delay is obviously important because it kind of like ping pongs around. But as I get to each point, I'll kind of like elaborate on this a little bit more. But yeah, like chorus, it kind of like brightens up your sound a little bit, makes it a little bit more arena filling. It sounds more, it just adds something else. That's why I probably use I really enjoy the sound of chorus. I'll switch my sound so I can get like a more distorted chorus for y'all. It's the main riff to Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Oops. Do that again. can tell, like, with the distortion, like, you can still hear that kind of, like, chimey kind of, like, sound to it, and, yeah, that's chorus, and, kind of the advantages of chorus, it kind of, like, it brightens up your guitar tone and makes it a bit, it certainly makes your tone stand out a lot more than, say, just use, like, a standard clean sound, for instance. However, the disadvantages with chorus, possibly, like, with clean, I can't really find a way to fault chorus, because it sounds beautiful to me. Possibly with distortion, like, it can kind of null it, because obviously the distortions, like, it kind of, it's kind of like a different thing in general. It's more abrasive and loud, and maybe sometimes your chorus might get disguised. However, it all depends how much you have your little tone thing turned up on your chorus pedals. And yeah, going on to like flange, which is like, it can kind of like make your guitar sound like an aeroplane. If I just switch to a flange session on my amp for use out there, get a more. I was thinking of like a riff I could learn for this, but I thought I'll just chuck on the E strings. Obviously, this is my standard guitar. So I could, like White Zombie, Thunder Kiss 65, for instance. I know that's not played with flange, however, I think it sounds pretty good. So I don't know. Let's see what you think. Obviously, like the intro to Breakout by Foo Fighters, for instance, uses a lot of flange. You know, especially like in the intro to Stinkfist by Tool, there's a lot of flange. However, like Adam Jones kind of combines like multiple effects at once, which is like experience like a lot of frustration. However, I've been thinking about getting like a kind of like a line 6 kind of amping like this. It's called the shortboard thing. It's kind of like a pedal board stop box effect kind of. Yeah, but then like. There's so many settings on this Vox Valvetronics VT40 amp, which is unreal, and I've also got something else I could discuss, like kind of like, you can get amplifiers like built-in effects, which like combo amps, I think they're called, this kind of like, you know, tube amps, combo amps, and it all depends on what kind of setup you like. I mean, in the future, like, it'd be really cool if I got like, a massive stack with kind of loads of effects pedals, pedal board kind of thing, but this little thing's great for it. Here for the timing, and maybe we could sample some dirty flange. See what that sounds like. Where are you? Oh, maybe that was dirty flange. Let's see what this. How do I do that one as a statue? What's the chords? I believe that Nickelback used a lot of flange for, but yeah, instead of me like messing around, like, you can kind of like get the idea of kind of like flange is kind of like, you know, like said, looks sound like an aeroplane taking off. It kind of like the advantages of flange, again, it adds like a different kind of sound to like a standard clean or distortion tone. That'll be the case for all effects pedals. Really, I don't know. It's like a cool effect if you want to add like kind of like American kind of vibe. I get, because obviously a lot of American music uses a lot of flange in it, so that's where I associate that from. Would I have a flange pedal in my rig? Probably yes, because I'd probably do a lot of Tool songs, and I'd want to kind of like, you know, simulate that kind of intro to Stinkfist and H, kind of like it's flange and it's wah, it's always everything. And yeah, I'm going to get Phaser, another modulation effect. Phaser's cool, so it sounds like we're being attacked by aliens. So, Phaser. Brace yourself, Earthlings. Sounds better with distortion. Here we go. As you can see, it kind of like has a bit of otherworldly kind of tones to, like, you know, your general distortion sound. Like, I'd say there's more disadvantages with Phaser, to be honest, opposed to advantages. Like, if you like, it could be like good for like experimenting. Like, that's basically like the whole gist of effects, I feel. You know, the whole use like a means of like just general experimentation musically. I wouldn't say like a Phaser's kind of like my main effect. However, well, I've been kind of like trying to like get some tones going for like a future Tool cover I want to redo, namely The Grudge. Yeah, I kind of like combine like wah and Phaser together, kind of similar to what Adam Jones does. That wasn't meant to happen. And I say it in this channel, I don't know, I'll play it for you guys and peeps out there, see what you think. As you can see, like, the wah's kind of like in the song, the wah's not too prevalent in the mix. You get like a mix of fizz and wah. However, that's the thing with effects pedals, it's all based around like how much input you put in from each one. So, like, sometimes you gotta be like really delicate with like your tuning, just like it's kind of like a sweet spot kind of thing. Like, you can either go out under or over. You can kind of like find that balance, and it's like totally amazing when you nail it. So, would I have a phaser pedal in my rig? Depends, possibly. Maybe I have that grudge thing, I probably would. It wouldn't be one of my favourite pedals to use or frequent use anyway. Again, like, so I've mentioned this loads of times, like wah pedals, obviously wah is kind of like a staple of most, you know, rock and metal solos, namely, you know, Metallica, Kirk Hammett infamously use excess amounts of wah, and also, you know, Adam Jones from Tool has used a lot of wah too, you know, especially like Lateralis, for instance, there's several incarnations, and basically what wah does, it kind of like makes your guitar, it does what it says on the tin, makes it sound like it's wah. If I go back and down in some wah, so there's Autowire on this amp, it's not like an actual wah pedal where you can kind of switch on and off from it. So, as you can see, I think a clean tone helps demonstrate this better. There we go. Doesn't that sound so cool? Very Red Hot Chili Peppers. They kind of like to make funny sounds. And yeah, like what wah's like. There's not many instances I can think of like wah may have been used in kind of like a clean kind of context. Usually you kind of like associate wah with kind of like being more like aggressive, you know, like Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix, the beginning. This is probably not how it goes. It's like. He was like a lot of like scratchy kind of like mute things going on, and yeah, so I've looked at like the advantage is like wah. Again, it adds like a bit of difference. It's great for solos if you want to add like a bit of variation. There's a lot of tracks that I enjoy in the key of D minor that especially use like a lot of wah in the solos, and it really adds to help. Just like it really adds to like help something different, like the kind of like overall tone of your solo. Disadvantages of wah, like. If it's overused, for instance, you know, a lot of people slate Kirk Hammett because of his overuse and overdependence on wah. So it's just like, you know, these days live, he'll make a lot of his solos up, you know, that aren't reflective of the way he originally played them on the recordings, out of his age, forgetting things. But well, actually, no, it's improving. Yeah, why not improvise? He wrote the flipping songs. He might as well just play whatever. And yeah, like we can kind of look at like extra kind of pedals here. Such like volume pedals, particularly prominent in like Tool songs, and probably many other songs too. Me just like bumming Tool all the time. Yeah, sounding weird. And but yeah, basically like a volume pedal helps reduce your volume at like certain points in the song. Like if you want to kind of like reduce the tense, it feels very tense anyway. But if you want to kind of like reduce like. Create like a different kind of atmosphere for the song and kind of like reduce your volume and like play the notes in a more softer sort of way. However, a lot of people would just like play the strings lighter as opposed to like using like a volume pedal. Because that's one thing about like this Line 6 shortboard that I saw it on. It's kind of like you can get like a volume and a wah pedal kind of like you kind of like switch it. It's not the same. It's just like a simulation. However, I think it's something. Yeah, but an actual volume pedal would probably be better. But it just like kind of depends like what your kind of setup is and stuff, and some more pedals to go through. Like so, basically, like if you look at like the advantages and disadvantages of volume pedals. If this video is a little bit disorganised, I do apologise. Yeah. And yeah, like volume pedals, like they help to reduce your volume of your guitar in like a certain point in the song, to kind of like bring the atmosphere down or whatever. And obviously, sometimes it can be used to swell in volume swells, as opposed to like just turning these all the time. So it makes it ease like for doing that kind of thing, so you like mess around with your volume knobs or whatever and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, like, in conclusion, what I think about effects pedals are a very, like, cool way to make, like, your guitar tone sound different. Also, like, use a chorus, well, this is just what I like, use chorus, flange, wah, a volume pedal. You know, that's probably like my 4th favourite kind of effects pedals. Disadvantages, sometimes it kind of like make your guitar, it like over usage of wah, and kind of it frustrates people to emulate your tones, although probably guitar players don't care about people emulating their tones, as long as they find a tone they're like, yep, go find it, it's fine, Billy Duffy. But yeah, it can kind of like make your guitar like not sound like a guitar anymore. It can make you stand out, however it kind of like takes away from the whole point, I guess. So yeah, I think that's just about it really on kind of effects pedals. I hope I made this video reasonably interesting for you, for like anybody out there who cares to watch this. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I shall see you all soon for some more content in the future, hopefully. So until then, have a nice day, and I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care, my lovelies.